God, I am thankful that what we were just discussing is behind the show wall. Spags, you have me frazzled before we even start the show.
Well, the good news, Pete, is we're going to recenter ourselves because you guys need to hang out with us and do one more big board draft over on Underdog. The rookies are flying off the shelf, so we're going to cram that in today. And yeah, more QB drama. Kyler Murray, full statements. He just wants a new contract. We're going to talk about that one and who knows what else right after this intro. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Splash Play, the fantasy football podcast for every game under the sun. And once again, I'm Chris Spags, joined by your friend and mine, Pete Overzet. Pete, our last of two shows before we go on our little Splash Play spring break. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. You did say, are we going to do a big board draft on Wednesday too?
No, we are. I mean, but our last two drafts is what we're going to have here.
Yes, I just want the people, hanging on a thread thinking they're not going to get two drafts from us this week to know, rest assured, we will also draft on Wednesday, although it could be close. Big board right now, 25,600 entrants, does cap at 28,200. And this is not, I will just say this. Little alpha leak. I might have heard what's coming next from Underdog here, and I'm very excited about it, and I think the people are going to be very excited.
Yeah, I also, a little birdie caught up with me over DM too over the weekend because we put out our Football Outsiders FO 40 and Fantasy 40. They're out now. If you go to the Football Outsiders site or just go to footballoutsiders.com/FO 40, you'll get there, which is our draft board of both real life prospects and fantasy prospects. And I think Underdog Pete was surprised by the amount of people that came in that were ready to do rookies and also, obviously main players as well draft at this point of the year. And I think we've talked about on the show a few times, like it's exciting. It's exciting to me that this many people are willing to do a best ball draft with literally 7 months till the season starts.
Yeah, I got so hooked because I knew this would happen where we draft them on stream, but I never went down too hard down the rabbit hole of just filling up every second of my free time drafting these. But I did a throwback that I hadn't done since last best ball season, which is what I call the Stairmaster draft, where I go to the gym and I draft a best ball team while on the Stairmaster. Although I had complained about the extra 2 rounds, I'm complaining about them even more after doing my Stairmaster draft. I was ready to call it quits after 18 rounds. Had to press on. So yes, did a Stairmaster draft, and I'm obsessed with these. I need to get a few more in before it fills.
Yeah, so go get over there now. Use the promo code SPLASH if you want to double your deposit up to $100 over at Underdog. And it's just worth doing now if you can get into this big board tournament. Some of the other stuff they're going to be doing here. Of course, we're going to be here with you guys as much as we possibly can, give you the information both from sites that we work with, like Football Outsiders and Run the Sims and all of those, as well as sites out there that we're just researching, combing for data, and doing the best we can. So hang out with us, do some drafts over at Underdog with that promo code SPLASH, and hang out on this channel, Peach channel, and of course the Splash Play channel. If you are watching on either as well, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. And also go over to footballoutsiders.com/subscribe. Some of the deals on there, the 99 cents a week deal, that's gone away, but you can still get access to all of the great data we're putting out there for a year-long package. There's going to be some stuff coming for the USFL, stuff coming for NFL season as well. So go check it out, footballoutsiders.com/subscribe. Before we talk about Kyler Murray, Pete, I feel like we have to give a quick plug, and I don't know if you have the link in front of you. I'm putting you on the spot, but our guy Paul was on the show a couple months back, did our low ball contest, and was really a last-minute guy joining us on that one. So we really very much appreciated having him on the show and being a gamer, bringing a great attitude. Paul's going through some heart issues. So I saw Pete, actually, I'll pull back the curtain in a second here, but go check out Paul's GoFundMe. We're going to drop the link. I think if we could do it in the YouTube description too, Pete, I think that'd be good. But let's do that. I'll put it in the podcast description if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever. But go give Paul a little bit of love. He's out of work for a while. He's certainly having a tough time with his recuperation. Though supposedly on the up and up and should be there back to work hopefully for the next month and a half. But he's one of ours, Pete. So we got to show a little love for Paul, especially as he actually did the show for us and we needed him to do it.
Yeah, was sad to hear about this. So yeah, if you guys have it within your means to toss a little Paul's way as he recovers from open heart surgery, I know he would greatly appreciate it. He loves the show. He loves hanging out in the chat with all you guys, and definitely don't like seeing him in this state, and wish him all the best in his recovery.
And shout out to Nolan over at Osmo. Apparently he did retweet it when I retweeted Paul's thing and gave a little money too. So that's, look, that's the community banding together. And that's what we're trying to do here on Splash Play. Now, here's what I'm going to throw in and pull back the curtain a little bit, Pete. I was ready to throw Paul a quick little $50 and then saw one Peter Overzet had beaten me to this and dropped 100. And I was like, oh, I now can't get doubled up by Pete. So Paul basically doubled his donation for me just because I couldn't get one up by it.
Oh my goodness. Now I wish you would have given 50 first so I could have came over the top and then really made you feel shitty. Because then the question is, do you go back and do you do another 50 in that case, Spags, or do you just let it happen?
I think I would just have to go like, Pete's more magnanimous than me. I've got a baby coming, who knows? But instead I was like, sorry, Luca doesn't need diapers. Paul's got, we need to give Paul a little bit of the money. But yeah, I had to match you once I saw it on there. And it was literally, I think you donated the second I had pulled it up.
Well, good. I always like putting the heat on Spags.
So yeah, go check out Paul's GoFundMe, give him a little love. And shout out to Paul here being in the chat, and we wish him a speedy recovery. And for all of you guys as well, if you're ever in similar straits, certainly don't want to make this a regular thing, but we are here for our community as much as you guys are here for us. So please go support each other and go check out Paul's GoFundMe now. And also, Pete, let's talk about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray needs our support too, because he's got a very long statement that I don't want to really read out loud, but the gist of it coming from his agent, Eric Burkhart, came out today via Adam Schefter's Twitter handle. GA saying if I read Kyler's statement, he might fall asleep. I feel like that's almost daring us to do it, Pete.
I know. I'm just gonna let you know, GA, we had no intention of reading this entire thing, and now I want to do nothing more than to read the entire thing, and that's what we're gonna do right now, Spags.
Do you want to go? Do you have it open too? Do we want to split the paragraphs? Okay,
I think we should split it up. Kind of do some stage directions here. What do you think as far as splitting it up?
I think we can go, like, I'll read the first paragraph in his bullet points. You can take the long second paragraph. I'll take the long one after that.
I'll read the long paragraphs as if they are all the fine print at the end of an advertisement. Batteries not included.
All right, so let's start it out here. A statement from Kyler's agent, Eric Burkhart, is a line up top. Kyler wants to be direct with loyal Arizona Cardinals fans and the great community of the Valley in stating his two very important goals and objectives. 1, he absolutely wants to be the long-term QB. 2, he desperately wants to win the Super Bowl. Achieving both goals will take incredible commitment from himself and the entire organization.
Despite all of Kyler's energy being focused on the future, he is very proud of the franchise's extreme turnaround and competitiveness and success since his arrival. Alongside his teammates and coaches, a successful and valuable foundation for the organization has been built. The team and Kyler's individual 3-year track record and undisputed and increasingly positive results while under the extremely challenging circumstances of walking into a 3-win team with the last ranked offense in the toughest division in football speaks for itself. The Cardinals are the only franchise in the NFL to have improved by 3 or more wins in each of the last 3 seasons. Kyler was tasked with stepping into a tough situation and named the starter of day 1 of his arrival. He has delivered and exceeded all reasonable expectations along the way and winning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, followed by back-to-back Pro Bowls in the ultra-competitive and QB-loaded NFC. Looking ahead, Kyler believes that in order to constantly compete for championships and ultimately deliver the Valley their first Super Bowl in 33-plus years, there needs to be long-term stability for both the organization and himself. To overly communicate Kyler's desire to be the Cardinals' long-term QB, we sent a detailed contract proposal to the organization. It was important to Kyler that his proposal reflected all of the following: provides financial protection, is in line with the current QB market, that compares his results alongside relevant comps, lowers his 2022-2023 salary cap number to allow the Cardinals to re-sign other deserving teammates, and add additional free agency, and most importantly, represents a real commitment from the organization to see if their ultimate goals align with his 2 above, consistently competing for championships and Kyler being their QB.
Actions speak much louder than words in this volatile business. It is now simply up to the Cardinals to decide if they prioritize their rapidly improving 24-year-old, already 2x Pro Bowl QB who led the organization from 3 wins before his arrival to 11 wins and their first playoff appearance in 5 years, or rather if they choose to financially prioritize committing to other areas and continuing to merely talk about addressing Kyler long-term's future as their QB. Unfortunately, every player, coach, and executive in the NFL knows, or should know, that words and hypothetical contractual promises are regularly dismissed and fleeting in this business. Kyler remains hopeful that the organization chooses to commit so that he can continue leading the Cardinals to further success and value for many years to come. K7. What a tab on him. There you go. Fucking Kyler. We talked about it on Friday, the social media histrionics of the QBs. This is a full negotiation on display, Pete. This is not thinly veiled. This is pulling back the curtain as well as much as these guys can. Pro or con? That's the question I'll ask to start.
I mean, this is awful. Like it's so passive aggressive. It's petty. It's not even well written. I mean, just reading that out loud, like when I wrote this up for the newsletter, I didn't even read the thing. I just took what the takeaway was, which was an ultimatum to get this contract extension done. But this is just all such baby bullshit. This seems like I don't know, some girl who's like upset at her friend and is writing this letter to, I mean, I can't with this, Spags.
It's one of those things where it really does it, like, look, I like to relate to players on a human level. I do like when they let us see who they really are here and there. And this is not Kyler himself writing it. This is his agent doing it. But it really feels like one of those emails you would send in like your early 20s where you're like going through a bad breakup. You're like, listen, I just want to get some things off my chest. And here they are. And then it ends up spiraling out of control and being perceived the wrong way or whatever the case may be, a text message. Like, I just feel like it's one of these things where keep it behind closed doors. Maybe have a nice conversation about it. We get Kyler wants to get paid. I think they have to pay Kyler, or he could theoretically go to baseball if it's around. But he actually has a little more leverage than most guys do in this spot. But at the end of the day, Pete, they're going to pay Kyler. Somebody's going to pay Kyler. I just don't see the need for how many words do we think this is? Probably a 1,500 word statement.
I don't think it's 1,500 words. I think it's
probably feels like 1,500 words.
It does feel like 1,500 words. And some of the, like, that was the longest run-on sentence ever. They're like, these are the values that are important to us. Yeah, it just is. You expect the agent to be the one to kind of clean up Kyler's mess, with the whole Instagram and all of this. And then it was like they sat together. Do you think they got in a room and they're like, let's work on this statement together? And like 8 hours later, they're like, it's ready for the people.
Yeah, don't forget to mention the 3 wins thing again one more time, just to be clear. And look, I get it. If you're Kyler and you feel like they threw you under the bus a little bit, left you holding the bag on the playoff performance, people in the YouTube chat also saying how'd that playoff game go for Kyler. I get it. But I do think at a certain point, it's like, you're going to get paid. It's going to happen. This is the first chance he's going to get to renegotiate that rookie deal. And the Cardinals, I guess I could get the frustration if the owner's going out publicly and saying, we want Kyler here, we're proving it. They're not willing to back the Brinks truck up. Like, should he be the highest paid QB in the league right now? Probably not, but relative to age, the results he's gotten, like, just pay Kyler. And then, I don't know, like, it's not the NBA. He can't force his way out as easily. So I just feel like at this point, they're going to give him the bag. Just do it and let them spare us all having to read these out loud on our podcast.
Yeah. And it's obviously not a new thing for players to want security, and they get that via these contract extensions. That's not a surprise. But the tone, like, if you read this as a blind item and you didn't know it was about Kyler Murray, you would think it was about like a mid to like lower mid tier quarterback in the league. It's like the lady doth protest too much. Like, everyone knows that Kyler Murray is talent wise a top quarterback in this league, but reading this letter, you'd think they're arguing for like Brandon Whedon to get an extension. It's like, come on, just let his, talent profile speak for itself.
And because of that talent profile, he'll get away with this. He'll get what he wants, and everybody will forget about it ultimately. But as Josh points out, Joshua Frick, one of our regulars, points out in the chat, the Ross and Rachel from Friends reference there. Certainly the long letter going to be a way to explain it. And, Kyler and the Cardinals not currently on a break. They are, in fact, actively together. So that's why he's going to get paid. It's going to be fine. But at the end of the day, if you're a Cardinals fan, boy, the idea of Colt McCoy throwing passes, and not even Christian Kirk, Colt McCoy throwing passes to Antoine Wesley next year doesn't feel great, I got to think.
It does not. Joshua says Pete needs to write a letter like this to LaVisca. Joke's on you, Josh. I head to the Atlantic Ocean every Monday morning. I write a letter on a scroll. I roll it up. I put it in a little bottle, and I roll it up to sea and hope that it makes its way down to Jacksonville.
I write letters to LaVisca written entirely out of letters cut out of other periodicals and newspapers and magazines. And I send it to him and go like, keep being bad, LaVisca. It makes for a great bit.
That sounds like a ransom note, Spags.
Exactly. Yeah, that's where we are with LaVisca at this point. Pete, any other news for you out there? The USFL, I've talked about on Football Outsiders. We're covering it a little bit more on there. Our TikTok, our Splash Play Pod TikTok. If you want to get in now on the ground floor of something good, you should be following the @Chris Spags TikTok as well. But you should follow @Splash Play Pod, because Pete, we are now, I think, seemingly officially only covering the USFL on our Splash Play Pod TikTok.
I think that's fine. I think that is a good lane for us. Although when I went to post that video, Spags is referencing when we were looking at Larry Fedora, aka Larry Visor. My guy Zenon made a clip for us on that we posted. But I was searching to tag USFL to see if there was an official USFL TikTok account. There isn't, but there are already some fan accounts out there, Spags, and there's some kid out there can't be, much older than 24 years old who's already grinding the USFL TikTok beat. So we do have some competition here. I could pull it up if I can find this kid.
Did you also see? And actually, I know Pete saw this, but over on my account over the weekend, I'm just fully doing TikToks. I was up watching them a little bit too late on Friday, so I posted one the next morning using a meme format. I got to say, I know I'm late to it. Pete, you were doing this bit years ago. I really like TikTok. I think TikTok's really grown on me in a meaningful way.
Yeah, it can be addicting. Everyone goes through their TikTok phase. Here's our competition. Here's our competition.
So I've seen a lot of videos on TikTok of people who post sport videos saying that they're going to get banned sometime in March with the new TikTok guidelines. And so I looked into it, and we're not getting banned. It's just if we include,
I'm not fucking leaving.
Those that I copyrighted in our video, where we won't show up on the For You page. So for me, in a video like this, where it's just me talking, which I've made a few of and they've done really well, so I'm going to continue to make those kind of videos, you'll still see them on your For You page, even though they're sport related.
All right, I want to get some of his actual. Here we go.
So with the 14th overall pick of the 1983 draft, the Buffalo Bills selected.
This is very
Jimmy
pertinent
Kelly,
to this season.
But he wasn't interested in playing for the Bills, and he went and he signed a contract with the Houston Gamblers of the United States Football League. Played 3 years in the USFL. Through for 10.
All right, now I need some fresh content here, kid.
The bar for content, as I've said on the show a few times, Pete and I have been talking about a lot. The bar for content on TikTok about as low as the floor as it could possibly be right now.
I'm trying to see how he's crushing here. USFL overview
of what the USFL season is going to look like this year. I thought I'd give you a little bit of an overview. So it was founded in 1983, ran in 1986, and they ran out of money.
I'm reading Wikipedia.
Money's not going to be an issue this year because Fox Sports owns it, and they've pledged $200 million.
This is why I can't do TikTok. This is how you get views. Just read Wikipedia pages. I'm gonna read the Kyler Murray statement on TikTok.
That's the thing though, that like I've been had pointed out to me by a lot of people out there, including my partner who I mentioned, Alex. We're due any day now, but she still does work in social media on a day-to-day basis. And she was telling me there's a very popular TikTok page that's just a girl reading like the Reddit "Am I the asshole?" posts and then given like a like a reaction, and she's got millions of followers, and that's just what it is there. It's like basically the equivalent of when you were doing a blog back in the day. Like if you did a BuzzFeed listicle when blogs were first popping off, people would be like, whoa, this guy's out doing something crazy. And you could just do anything on TikTok, and as long as it fits a meme format or it's vaguely useful, somebody out there will gravitate towards it.
Have I ever told you about my first blogging experience that was actually very successful because it was just when blogs were starting up? So in college, my sophomore year, so it would have been fall of 2006, my buddies and I started a music blog. By the end of the semester, bands and labels were sending us demos and records to review on the music blog. And then I went and studied abroad and the blog died. But it goes to your point, and like I was in no way qualified to be talking about music or writing authoritatively about it. But if you started a blog spot back then and posted with some consistency, you would get noticed fairly quickly.
Like I would say to anybody out there, I know we do have a good amount of people who are trying to do their own YouTube channels, trying to do their own shows out there. There's a lot of people in the fantasy football community overall doing that. Make a TikTok, get good SEO on it, take angles that are evergreen. Like you're going to get a shot to do something useful. And there's still enough ground because the sports betting TikToks, fantasy football TikToks are all really weak right now. And that's the one thing I would impart to anybody out there, including basically saying it out loud for Pete and myself to remind us that we can't back down now. We have to be the TikTok boys.
I was going to say the guy with 16 followers on TikTok is giving TikTok advice right now.
300 to 500 views a video, Pete, and my bets. Only one loss so far in my TikTok bets. Willis is cashing them left and right.
Spags, I actually meant to ask you this because the way like in the Discord, you can create roles. And if we created a Spags whale play role, would you tag people who wanted that role when you make a post?
As long as they're willing to accept the fact that I'm not touting winners here, I'm touting a process that works every day that's allowed me to 8x my money on FoxBet, Pete. And that's like, I'm not even shilling right now. I just hate the idea of giving picks and like not having my full ass behind them. And that's basically the way I'm betting right now. It's a tremendous success.
I think we're going to have to get you, let me know in the chat. Would you guys like in the Deposit Kingdom Discord within the Splash Play channel, if you could request a role and you get notified when Spags put out a whale play? If there's interest for it, I'll make it happen, despite being a little concerned about how much it could go to Spags' head.
Look, I'll do it. If that's what the people want, if that's what they demand, much like this big board draft, then they're going to get it. Hopefully people watching the stream are joining us in this big board draft on Underdog, and use that promo code SPLASH if you haven't yet to double your deposit for new users only over at Underdog. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, Pete, look, the whale play has been crushing, man. Like I was actually thinking, because Fox is limiting me pretty bad, I had to make a TikTok about how I get around it. I took like an over 137 and a 137.5 over the weekend, because I just like, that's the way I can get to $500 worth of value on a bet. It's thorny out there, man. The sportsbooks really do try their best to fuck you the second you show any sort of competency.
Yeah. That's why you got to flesh out your sports betting syndicate. Really spread your bets around, throw them off the scent, use some, mules to make some of your bets for you, Spags. You got to really think through all this.
Yeah, me and my boy Rufus Peabody, we're going to make a cartel of bettors, and we're all going to get together, and I'm going to give them, take the Occidental over 137 line. It's looking real. They would laugh me out of the room, I think.
Pretty soon you will be streaming from your Montana, ski chalet, just like Rufus hopped on Lulz the other night.
No, or more likely, we didn't talk about this on the show yet. Spags not taking paternity leave to start out. I'm actually going to push my paternity leave till the summertime when Alex her maternity is ending. And you are going to, on this show in the coming weeks, you are going to find the most delirious version of me you have ever seen. I will tell you that much.
Well, we should mention to people, we are going to be, we're going to squeeze in a show on Wednesday, but then I am going to be gone for what would otherwise end up being, I think, 3 shows. So, soak up all the splash play you can now. All right, Spags. So McCaffrey, Kupp, and Taylor go off the board, which has been kind of the consensus top 3. Who do you like here?
Not Derrick Henry. Let's go Justin Jefferson. Why not?
Yeah, I like mixing it up. What have our starts been? We've done the Tyreek.
We've done Dalvin, I think, at one point.
Oh, you're right. I took my Stairmaster draft yesterday. I was at this same spot at 104, and I took Jamar Chase. Just really? with that same idea in mind of just kind of mixing it up a bit.
But that's what we've talked about, though. And I think that's where, the diversifying best ball stuff that has been a buzzworthy conversation around the industry lately. Like, if you're just drafting another alpha receiver who's going to take a jump, like, to me, that's smart diversification. Whereas if you took, I don't know, Josh Jacobs at the 104, like, that would probably be a bad choice.
Right. And I think when I look at these 5 wide receivers who are first off the board here, I do think you can make a case for any of them to go first overall for the wide receivers. Like, I don't think there's, huge, you could, quibble and have quibble. You could quibble and have different tier breaks within this. But to me, I view these guys as part of a similar tier right now. So I don't mind mixing and matching your flavor there.
And you could quibble until you squabble. I think that's what that's where we were close to.
But I will never quibble until I wordle, because I will never wordle.
I missed actually Wordle yesterday because it was my last mimosa day that I was allowed, Pete, because of obviously needing to be sober enough to drive to the hospital in case somebody goes into labor prematurely. And I didn't play Wordle yesterday, and that was the first one I'd missed in I think a month, and it made me feel pretty bad.
Yeah, good. I keep seeing all these Wordle derivatives coming up. So I mean, it's out of control. There was some NBA one. I've seen there's a Loodle for, bad words,
saucy language. Yeah.
Saucy language. It's out of control.
I think that's when you can tell something's officially jumped the shark. Like, besides just selling to the New York Times, like, I think it's a perfectly fine product that I'm sure will be valuable for them in the coming years relative to whatever else they're doing. But like, I'm not going to play Purtle, which is the NBA one Pete's talking about. I'm not going to play Loodle. I'm not going to do the math one. The math one, actually, I tried once and was like, what the fuck is going on here? And I immediately was out on that one. It's Wordle or bust for me, and it's probably not going to be Wordle or bust for very much longer.
That's one of the things, Spags, when kind of people ask about you to me, and I say he's really loyal to his Wordle platform. And yeah, are there lots of distractions? Are there lots of, sirens beaconing, him across the water? Yes, but he stays strong to the one and only Wordle.
GA007 saying the math one is easy. I can tell you it was not easy for me because I couldn't even figure out how to cram a formula into the space, and it just threw me off. And I was like, well, I guess that's the end of that one. So the math one went for me.
All right, we're going to be on the clock here. I would say the three names that are interesting to me would be, I don't know, Lamb, Chubb, or Higgins.
I like Higgins because we didn't go Chase.
Let's do it.
So this is what we've talked about in a few shows here, where I like if you're making the stand, really doubling down on that stand and leveraging against it, some could say. And I think that's what we're doing with T. Higgins there, where we didn't take Jamar, we took Justin and said, I'm on a first name basis with all these guys now. And with T. Higgins there, it's like you're basically saying Jamar Chase comes back down to earth, or T. Higgins makes a bigger jump, or maybe Chase gets hurt or something. Like that's how Higgins could be like a really high value guy, even though taking Higgins in the second round does feel a little bit lofty.
It is, but I do agree with you that there are paths to him having a monster season if something were to happen to Chase. But I think both Chase and Higgins can pay off their ADPs, even if both stay healthy. I mean, you get another leap from Burrow. You get the offensive line gets a little bit better, and they kind of stay as pass happy over expectation as they were down the stretch through the playoffs. Like I don't think it's that absurd, and I think they both have the talent to kind of deliver on that. So I'm not too worried about it.
No, I think that's fair. I also like that he didn't take T. Higgins now, and now he's got no shot on a Bengal stack that makes, the most amount of sense. So I think we got a little sabotage in there. We got some leverage, all the stuff I look for.
I would have been happy with Andrews there at 3-4. What do you like here? I don't mind grabbing Waller.
Yeah. I'm in on Waller.
Let's do Waller.
I think he's the one Raiders fundamental piece we haven't taken yet. So that's, again, another thing with diversifying here, where we've taken Hunter Renfrow, we've taken Josh Jacobs in drafts. If we take Waller here, and again, using the same things we talked about, that Josh McDaniels offense, it certainly loves a good tight end. Maybe this is Waller's biggest year yet, and it comes after a year that people are probably a little bit down on him because he didn't really perform like that lock it in every week tight end.
One guy whose ADP that I've noticed is all over the place is I'm pretty sure I got Kyle Pitts towards the Nick might be able to remind me from yesterday, but it was either the late third or early fourth where Pitts fell all the way to me. Or maybe it was mid third. But still, I feel like I've seen him go late second. I've seen him slip. He kind of dances around the kind of Mark Andrews and Darren Waller area. It seems like we haven't had that tight end tier itself kind of solidify an order.
Yeah, and Pitts to me feels like appropriately valued, like he should be one of the top four, but I think he definitely has to go behind Kelsey, I would say. And you could probably make the case he could go after Andrews, but then, a lot of his production came with Huntley as the QB. I feel like Pitts to me, like he's drafted right around where he should be, but if he went after any of these guys, like I wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is just I think the most fun thing about these drafts is just knowing how much this ADP is going to change after the draft, in free agency as well. But if there were ever a time to kind of go and get your guys, it does feel like it's now.
Yep, I'm fully on board with that. And I like our construction here to start two receivers, one tight end. So we could go a running back now as our anchor, or I feel like we've been doing a good amount of the not super early, but decently early anchor running back.
Yeah, I found myself doing a lot of like round 3 or round 4 anchor running backs, just because Aaron Jones has been an extreme value. He does go here at pick 4-1. I've seen him slide all the way to the mid to the late 4th, which just seems crazy to me. Yesterday in the 4th round, I took J.K. Dobbins, and I'm very happy with him there. Before he got injured, I mean, he was going, early to mid 3rd in a lot of drafts. And I don't really have any concerns about his, long-term injury outlook. I think he's a great fit in that offense and what they want to do. I think he's really talented. So he's a guy I don't mind building around as an anchor guy either. And then did we take Josh Jacobs in our draft last time too? Like I still think he's a pretty nice value there.
Yeah, I agree. I don't, if he's there for us this time around, like I wouldn't hate taking him, but I feel like because we did just draft him on Friday, like mentally, I think we probably shouldn't, but we could really get a lot of this Raiders offense if we are believers.
I'm loath to give him a compliment, but I do love this start for our guy Fritzy here. Adams, AJ Brown, Cam Akers, anchor detour in the 3rd, and then George Kittle. That's just extreme value on Kittle in the mid 4th. So I like that construction a lot.
So we did get Cam in the 4th in that last draft. Cam's, I think, the most volatile guy I've seen in the drafts we've been doing, where I feel like he goes early, he goes sometimes like 4th, like almost on the 5th sometimes. Like he's all over the place.
Yeah. So I do like Dobbins here. Do you have anyone else that's really interesting to you?
I mean, I wouldn't mind skipping running back for now. I would say Dobbins or Jacobs, but we never take Dobbins.
I don't mind skipping running back. I just don't necessarily have a wide receiver like really jumping out to me here.
Let's take Dobbins. I feel like, I mean, unless you wanted to go Lamar, but I don't think we need to go Lamar.
No, but I don't mind waiting to see if Lamar, he's been going more mid-5th. And so if Lamar is here for us at our next pick, I'm definitely open to taking him there.
Yeah, I feel like I like the idea that we've talked about before of taking a Gus Edwards or just somebody else at running back instead of Dobbins, because you're paying a pretty steep price tag on Dobbins, given that he barely played last year, and certainly the depth chart can move around a little bit from what it looked like in the beginning part of the year. But I feel like just, again, based on drafting out of type and how we've drafted so far, I feel like getting one share of Dobbins might not be the worst idea.
Yeah. And to confirm the Aaron Jones slide, Nick said he got him in the 5th earlier. Devin says he got him at pick 56. So yeah, that's just nothing has really changed in my mind. I know there's uncertainty with Rodgers, but obviously there could be a downgrade at quarterback there, but I have no problem with Aaron Jones at those prices. We are on the clock. Lamar does go.
Renfro is there. We could get the full Raiders.
Yeah, it's a little bit ahead on ADP, but not even.
I wouldn't mind Gabe either, if we want to take him and then try to get Renfro on the way back.
Let's just do Renfro first, because his ADP is a little higher, and we can now lock in Carr as either our QB2 or QB3.
Ooh, how much do we think Kyler's going to fall based off of the fact the social media thing happened today? Like, he's already been coming down a little bit because of the weirdness around him.
I think our chat room is too smart, our draft room, to ding Kyler too much.
Do you think he makes it back to us?
No.
I feel like if he does, we have to pull the trigger on it, especially after forcing everybody to read that statement out loud.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that Welshier here took Herbert over Dak after making a bet on Amari and CeeDee. To me, that seems peculiar.
Well, that's like what we talked about, where like doubling down your take, where you don't take Jamar, so you take T. Higgins in the hopes that something, just whatever doesn't work out the way that the person who took Jamar so high is going. Like you're saying CD is going to be good enough to be worth a 2nd-round pick, so theoretically, like Dak should rise with that tide. So like go all in on the stance or don't take the stance.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, to me, it's like once you've made a bet on Lamb and Amari, like for those guys to pay off those ADPs, like you're saying, Dak is going to have a really big year. And so leaning into that correlation makes a ton of sense. And he might be able to get both. I believe in my draft yesterday, I did take both of those. Coincidentally, I took Dak and Herbert. So maybe he's counting on Dak making it back to him, but also seems like a little bit unnecessary of a gamble within a flat tier, I would say.
D Turk is apparently in our draft again, and after we stole Rondale Moore from him last time, or I think we stole one of the Cardinals receivers from him, he says if we take Kyler, he's going to take Rondale from us, and we'll be stuck with Antoine Wesley. So we are now paying for our hubris in previous drafts.
Well, don't worry. Shea Bones grabbed Kyler there. So what team is D Turk?
I don't know. He was in the other one, and I don't recall what he was in that one.
I assume is he Shea Bones? Is that you? Did you get your guy?
Because he must have been after us, I would think, if he was worried about us taking Kyler.
All right, Corbin, we're on to you, buddy. But I do think you're playing with fire there a little bit. You gotta sweat a decent amount of teams that still need quarterback. Although I do get the thought on his bet that if you have Lamb and Amari, who's going to reach for Dak? The problem is people just like getting their elite quarterbacks here, and you have no more coverage now that Kyler is gone.
D Turk is Big Papa. He's going full Bill stack, or he's trying to go full Bill stack. Okay. So if anybody wants to take Gabriel Davis to fuck him up, if you're in this draft and ahead of Big Papa, feel free to go ahead and take one of the Bills receivers right now.
That's right. If everyone gets to see our strategies in real time and snake us, we get to blow up your spot as well.
Oh, and somebody did do it. There we go. Poor T-Turk. You can never make your attention zone. You have to let us be the minus EV part of the draft. If you let anything know, we're going to ruin it for you just out of spite.
That's right. This is the thing. Everyone's like, hey, review my team, sauce my team. And it's like, we'll review it in real time so people know exactly what you're trying to do.
It's so much fun. I mean, we talk about a lot of these, and like, again, it sounds like it's just we're doing ad promo or whatever. This is one of the highlights of my week. Just getting to sit back, talk about the draft. We have people in the chat doing it. Like, I think, these particular drafts are going to be so isolated because they're going to be done before even we get combine results probably. But I feel like these drafts have been so luxurious, so nice, and really get you in the headspace where by the time, Best Ball Mania is out, all the big ones are out. Like, I feel like we're going to be in a pretty good, well-honed place to really deploy a lot of lineups at that point.
Everyone always comes out of the chat woodwork here. Who else can we smoke out? Is RT Cruels from the 101? Are you in the chat here? We know Debo is. We know Corbin is. Who's Raise T77? Jonathan is in the Discord, but he didn't even realize that this draft was being streamed. We got Fritzy in the chat. We got Willis. We got Shea Bones. Who's Big Papa? Do we know who Big Papa?
Big Papa is D-Turk.
Okay, that's D-Turk. And then who is Harab?
That I don't know. He's the mystery man.
All right, announce yourselves.
Or maybe the mystery woman. We don't know.
We are back on the clock here. Man, I have not been drafting Elijah Mitchell. I also don't mind getting a share here, like 15 or 16.
Why not just Thielen at this point? People don't want to take Thielen.
Because Thielen's been falling even further than that. He's ADP 75.
Oh, time's coming.
I'm going to grab a share of Eli Mitchell. I haven't touched him in these drafts, but I'll take the near round and a half discount on him.
I just like that so like if Thielen doesn't come back, so I'm going to be pretty bummed because I do think that we would be in pretty nice spots with the Vikings and Raiders stacks because these are both teams that have made changes at coach over the offseason, teams that should be more valuable, and you have pretty clear cut, target trees for right now, at least.
No, I'm completely with you. I think Thielen he's been falling super far in these drafts. And the only reason he's at the top of our queue right now is because Leone has an aggressive ranking on him. Mm-hmm. So generally I don't mind waiting a little bit more on him. Of course, now that we really talked it through, we'll probably get sniped, but TTP, trust the process.
Especially after we made clear our stance about screwing everybody else over. I think that's going to hurt our chances of Thielen coming back. But
I'll be so disappointed if I don't get Adam Thielen. No, but it does make sense in the context of this double stack.
Yeah, and he makes more sense for us than he does any other team, which now means it's up to C. Welshire. What are they going to do?
Corbin.
Corbin's in the chat too. Corbin, don't do it. Don't
Spags needs his old. Please.
He
did it. Oh, fuck you, Corbin. Fuck you. We let you get your Dak Prescott, and then you take Adam Thielen from us. You piece of shit.
Chaos is a ladder. Is a ladder.
Who do you want?
Oh, fucking how about nobody.
Let's take Claypool. How about?
All right, sure. Yeah, I think that's better than banking on Woods.
There's nobody here at quarterback I really want right now. I don't like the running backs. We can wait on tight end. I like Claypool.
This really was a reap what you sow draft. We could have had a nice little clean stack, and now we don't.
You wanted the clean double stack?
Yeah, like a nice clean Vikings Raiders, two teams that I just think are undervalued. Like
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you 2 words, Spags. 2 words to keep your dream alive. KJ Osborne.
I do like KJ Osborne. Yeah. I do like KJ Osborne.
Yes.
Oh man, bastards. Honestly though, I do think this is like a testament to our growth. Is like if there's a day where every time we're doing a draft, if everybody in the draft is like either in our audience or like adjacent to our audience, I'll know that we've truly have made it as a show overall.
Wow. Set a higher bar, Spags.
You got to dream big. Maybe the TikTok will be the thing. This USFL kid, when he finds out, it's going to be so crestfallen that we just roasted him for no reason.
Nah, he's not going to be. He probably already has a deal with the USFL. He's getting paid $1,000 a post, just fucking raking it in.
I don't want to tip my cap too much. I'm supposed to be on a call with some USFL people at some point this week. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere, but it's supposed to happen.
Devin apparently didn't watch the show where we did a deep dive connecting rookie QBs to the Steelers. So yes, we have already identified the next Steelers quarterback, but I can't say it now because you'll snipe us.
Yes. And
Damn
so
it,
they
Nick.
Go ahead. Yeah, there you go. Nick got it. They did say though in an article right after we did that show that I think it was Tomlin that said it. He was like, Mason Rudolph would be our starter right now.
Yeah.
Which we'll see how that holds up.
That's like the most non-committal answer. Yes, if the season started today, we would have no choice but to drag out the sack of bones that is Mason Rudolph.
Not a great reflection on Dwayne Haskins, though, that it's like it's not even a thought starter at this point that he might be in contention for the job.
Yes, but has anything ever reflected nicely on Dwayne Haskins?
His draft position was nice when he first came in the league.
Looks like we're going to be forced into another 3 QB build, Spags. I was hoping one of Hurts or Rodgers would maybe fall to us here in the 8th, but that dream died.
I mean, we're team Derek Carr. I think we've been abundantly clear about. So somebody's going to snipe him from us at some point. Ramondre?
I don't mind Ramondre. I also wouldn't mind Tyler Boyd if we want to make just a bet on the Bengals without the QB.
I don't mind that conceptually. Whichever of those you prefer. Spiller too, I think should be in the hunt. But
the only reason I'm going to do Boyd here is there's just so much running back cover right now as far as ADP wise. So I'd rather grab the wide receiver now and then grab the running back coming back in the 9th.
Yeah, I think that's a fair one, and I think we're gonna get one of Stevenson or Spiller coming back our way. I would think at least.
Yeah.
And Isaiah Spiller were actually one guy to update that we talked about on Friday that I know we dropped on our FO40 fantasy 40 board for the that we have out on the site right now. So go to footballoutsiders.com/FO40. Jameson Williams apparently is pretty banged up. So our guys, Mike Tanier, didn't feel the most comfortable having him as ranked as highly as he did. So that's one to keep in mind for anybody out there that was following Friday's show and heard us talk about being bummed not getting him. He's down the board a little bit because he is hurt meaningfully enough that it could be a problem.
Yeah. Russ's ADP.
I know you care about rookie injuries.
Sorry, I was zoning out.
That's okay.
I do feel like we did the right thing waiting here on running back, and I'm good with any of these. Stevenson, Spiller, Penny. Do you have a favorite of those?
Man, I think we should take Spiller just because he's the one rookie we haven't gotten any exposure yet, and he is a pretty highly touted guy.
The only other thing I will toss in is an option of Fields if we do want to get one quarterback with a little upside.
I would go Spiller.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we also Kirk is there for us, and Kirk makes sense for us.
Yeah. I would say with this build, if we could get Kirk, Carr, and a rookie, probably.
Yeah, I agree.
A 3 QB. I think we're pretty much locked into a 3 QB build at this point, though.
Which is fine, as Hayden Wink said. That's the move, Pete. We got to be doing that every time out anyway.
I'm like 80% 3 QB build in these drafts. I did yesterday. I did the Corbin and took Dak and Herbert, and I just stuck with 2 there. But I've been doing mostly 3 QB and 3 tight end builds.
Brendan in the chat saying don't sleep on Jameson Williams. Like, I like Jameson Williams based on what I know. I feel like if we're bumping him down because of the injury concerns, I think that's something that I'm willing to listen to. But Jameson Williams going pretty early here. 9th round for Jameson Williams.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's harder. Like because if there's ever a guy coming off an injury that's going to have more of a slow start, getting back or getting up to speed, I feel like that would be him. So I don't know. 9th round seems rich. I mean, that's where Waddle was going last year, right? And Waddle was healthy and coming off top 15 draft capital to a wide receiver needy team. Like, I don't know. I feel like you're really having to thread the needle there for that to pay off at that price.
It's also an ACL tear where he had the surgery mid-January. So like, even if he's pushing it, like it feels like an Elijah Moore start where like you can miss those first few weeks and then maybe you'll have some upside, but it's still like hard to pin down because you're just not a fully ingrained to the system the way you need to. I feel like it's not the best for a rookie receiver to come in and be behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I still want as many rookies as I can get. I'm just trying to be pretty price sensitive with it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Brendan saying too as a rebuttal. So look, we're talking all sides here, but Daniel Jeremiah has Jamison Williams going to Kansas City, and his ADP would skyrocket if he goes there. He certainly would be a vast improvement on the Byron Pringles of the world, I'm sure. But it's how much do you trust that, especially for a well-oiled machine kind of offense like Kansas City, where they're going to put a rookie in there? They barely want to play Mecole Hardman. I feel like that would give me some fear if that's the reason you're sort of banking on him rising with the tide.
Yeah, we could get some really fun landing spots for these, top 5, 6 wide receivers. If the Bills really clear out in free agency, I mean, if we get a top wide receiver to the Chiefs or Bills, I mean, that they are going to become a very hot commodity in that case.
And of course, the Instagram reports do have Christian Kirk going there because the girlfriends like to dance around and make Josh Allen and Christian Kirk dance around as well. So that's, if there's ever any smoke where there's fire for those kind of things, that's got to be one of those spots.
I do think just ADP wise here, we're right on ADP. I think we should grab Cousins.
Yep, I think that's fair. And I think too, these are the two players where I don't think we're gonna. Also, Ramondre hanging in there. Is nobody's gonna scoop Derek Carr or Cousins from us. I think is the one thing.
Famous last words.
Don't do it for the bit, guys. We really want a clean Raiders stack.
I will say it right now. There is no bid equity. And did Osborne already go? No. Okay. He's a ways down there.
Yeah, I've never been not a fan of his, I guess.
So nervous to get sniped on KJ Osborne.
Well, it's funny because I guess Leone is going the other way because Pete's, in case you missed our Friday show, Pete's using Mike Leone from Establish the Runs rankings here and pulling them into Underdog and sorting as a result of what Leone's got these guys ranked at. He's clearly buying in that Thielen's going to be back and not give up a lot of shares to Osborne, which is definitely an interesting stance.
Yeah, I mean, that offense has just been so concentrated. I think at that price, though, ADP 156, you're making a bet on that offense. And he has shown an ability to have some spike weeks. So I don't mind it. But it's a good reminder he's not a guy you're going out of the way to grab in the 11th or 12th round. Yes. All right. We are on the clock here. I don't mind Fuller. I don't mind Chase Edmonds. What do you think?
We did Russell Gage the other day, so that's going to be a guy we should probably move away from. I don't mind Fuller. I feel like just hoping that he can be a fraction of what he was before. Seems like a decent bet to take.
Got fraction of a hand that he had before, so at least there's that.
That is also true.
No, I like Fuller there.
And again, the William Fuller rebrand, as strong of a rebrand as we've seen of anybody out there.
Yeah. His agent should put out a 1,500 word statement about why they changed his name to William Fuller. We want drafters to take him more seriously.
If you're watching live now, by the way, we got over 70 people watching live. Hit the like button if you can. Does help us out a bunch here as we continue to do shows in the off season. We very much appreciate it. And of course, subscribe to Pete's channel and the Splash Play channel so you'll know whenever we're going live, because we are going to be running and doing best ball drafts and other content all off season long besides the next 10 days. So go.
And also, I'm trying to get better at plugging the Deposit Kingdom Discord. We have a Splash Play channel in there. That was where I was referencing. Spags been dropping some of his whale plays. We also have a best ball channel in there that's very active as well. So yeah, if you're enjoying the best ball streets, I think you would enjoy the Deposit Kingdom. We also have all kinds of stuff in there with Top Shot, NFTs, Dynasty. We got the Omni Fantasy chats going. So every topic under the sun, I might say, Spags, there in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. Come hang out with us. That link is in the show notes.
I don't know if I'm allowing you to steal the Splash Play branding that I've lovingly jammed into every show for now 2 years.
I remember that seems so long ago when we conceptualized, our Splash Play stuff.
Because we didn't take an off season now 2 years in a row, I feel like the show to people, like I was talking to our friend Justin Freeman over the weekend, and he was like, he mentioned something about like, oh, I thought, it feels like Splash Play should be bigger than it is. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But we're also like basically creating a platform. And also like, we haven't even been doing the show 2 years. Like we've been doing it 1.5 years, basically. It just feels like forever because I don't let Pete take any time off.
I need to interrupt this to say, what the fuck are you doing, Harab? Fields, Deshaun Watson, and Carr. And I told you, Spags, you were going to mush it. Right when you go, I can't imagine anyone would take Derek Carr from us. Well, there you fucking go.
I mean, look, if Harab is going to single-handedly submarine his team just to do it. I feel like I was assuming logical play.
God damn it. What does Derek Carr do for this team? I'm looking at it. What in God's great, like, I get Justin Fields. You got the Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney. Makes a ton of sense. All right, you want to grab Deshaun Watson, clackety clack, roll the dice. You're an apologist. What does Derek Carr do for this team?
I think it's one of those things that people do this in drafts, and he has the experience badge, so maybe he's been doing it for a while. Like, just hurting our construction is sometimes a move that could be plus EV.
Yes, and but hurting our feelings is negative EV, and my feelings have been hurt.
Willis says he's surprised we went Fuller over Carr. I think he's probably making us pay the price. Like, I think there is a bit of a thing of that, people feeling like they're the hall monitor or the policeman who has to like keep us in check, and we didn't do the thing that we needed to do. We got greedy, and maybe that's what Harab is punishing us for.
I feel punished. I definitely feel punished.
You got us. You fucking boomed us.
What do we think? Like, we do need to look at the quarterback landscape right now, and it is disgusting, Spags. We might be venturing toward a 4 QB build here. I don't know if we want to reach for Daniel Jones right now. We could lock up Irv Smith, since we do want to build out, if we want to build out that Cousins stack.
I think let's do that. Let's lean in on the things that we know we have. I think it seems like the best approach we can do.
In this economy, you can't take anything for granted. Even your Kirk Cousins double stacks.
Boy, that's honestly, I gotta respect it. Like I said it, I was so confident we would get Derek Carr, and you know what? Sometimes people just gotta keep your ego in check. You can't expect anything, Pete. Nothing in life is given. We got to earn it every day.
Well, normally it's me trying to be like, no, we could wait around on him, and then he inevitably goes. Then you get all pissed off at me. So nice that we could put the shoe on the other foot here.
Though I do think we should have taken Carr over Fuller. I think I just bought into the William Fuller rebrand a little too much.
Yeah, the narratives that get us.
It's always a William. It's always a guy going to a longer, more serious sounding name where it's like, oh, this is his dramatic Oscar turn. That's what William Fuller going to that instead of Will Fuller the fourth. Do you think he's like mad at his like family or something, and he just doesn't? Oh, Jameis will be there to save the day. I hope so. Jameis's ACL rehab apparently going really well.
I have a feeling when we actually get to the bottom of this story with William Fuller, it's not that interesting. It's just like probably the Miami Dolphins submitting like their roster to the, Elias Stats Bureau, and they just, some intern wrote it up as William, and then it had this cascading effect on how we live our lives.
All right, where are we going here? We got 20 seconds.
Okay. I mean, are we going to just keep sitting on quarterback?
I mean, I wouldn't mind taking Daniel Jones at this point, even though he doesn't stack up. Like, he's going to have a floor, and he could have a lot more rushing upside if Daboll does do what Buffalo's done historically.
Let's do that. And there are some other late stacking options with him as well.
And we're basically just saying the floor for Daniel Jones has to be higher than Derek Carr is going to hit when like that Raider stack is going. And I don't think that's an unreasonable thought to have.
What I always say is the floor is the roof for Daniel Jones. I mean, this guy, it's basically impossible for him to miss.
Using a Michael Jordan quote to talk about Daniel Jones feels incorrect in a variety of ways.
Don't worry, Willis. We're over, KJ. We found the true way to round out our Viking stack via Irv Smith, not some guy that's going to come in and play 40% of the snaps.
Does that mean Willis himself is going to take KJ? Because I feel like, Willis, you've been getting some great bets for yourself, courtesy of Spags' whale plays, trademark, pending. So I think maybe don't take KJ Osborne, Willis, is what I'd say.
Okay. No, Willis is going to take him on the wrap just to really elongate it.
I like elongate it?
Yeah.
Elongate?
You heard me.
He's elongated the shit out of that one. That's true.
I hate this draft.
D Turk threatening us. It's like we're in a draft with like terrorists, and they're just all negotiating, and we're just like, I don't want to do it.
We need more mutually assured destruction. So how can we blow up D Turk's draft?
Big Papa. I don't want to blow up a fellow Big Papa, but if we have to.
What do you mean, fellow Big Papa?
I mean, I'm soon to be a Papa, and again, 6'1", as we've discussed on our height show.
I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air. If you took KJ Osborne, I see some teams that should be having my baby. Baby.
Probably not ours. Ours would get left on the wayside. Oh man, I felt so good about that rookie draft we had on Friday, and today we've gotten worked by everybody else in the draft.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason when I went to draft yesterday, I didn't tell anyone I was going to draft because sometimes I want to do a draft without my friends and family.
And honestly, it's kind of funny though that you have to do that. It's like you're like a celebrity that needs your anonymity to go to the grocery store.
No, I mean, it's just like we draft on stream with all these people that are sharp and take all the players I want. So sometimes I got to hope that, on a little Sunday afternoon, there's some more riffraff in there.
You hope you go into a little sea of fishes for yourself and get one good team off. All right, we got some decent rookies
this year because we are Chris G and Dubner have been keeping track of some of the on-stream drafts. So I'm going to need a data analyst to splice and dice like my closing line value on my non-stream drafts versus my stream drafts. All right, we're on the clock here.
Do we want the big turtle Brian Robinson again?
God.
Or Tyler let's see, Tyler
Algier.
Yeah, he's not actually ranked on our 40 board, so I wouldn't go.
We're gonna need, or we could just get. Why don't we get our stack with?
Okay, yeah, get
Daniel Jones. I'm just gonna get that.
Yeah, Tony's already gone. I know that. Galladay might still be floating around out there, is he?
Galladay went. He went.
Okay. We get Evan Ingram probably.
Yeah, is he?
Maybe.
No, is Ingram gone too? Yeah.
Boy, everybody. This is like when you go to like everybody serving themselves at a party or a buffet or whatever the case may be, and you just get there and it's like you just get the scraps. You're getting what's left. Everybody's taking all the good, fully formed tostadas, and you're just getting like one that's got like 3 little shreds of meat on it.
There's no better feeling in the world than having to reach for players you don't even like.
It's true. That really is what we're dealing with here.
Where you feel the FOMO and then you're like, wait, I don't even want this. We're already back on the clock. You guys are drafting fast today. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling too inspired right now. You want to do a rookie? You want to do like a Byron Pringle? You could add him.
Do James Cook because we took James Cook last time.
His 80. I'm going to do Pringle. I mean, James Cook's ADP is like 225. Leone's distorting our value here.
Okay, fair.
Let's add Pringle. We didn't draft Jamison Williams, who they're drafting according to Dane Bolger. So this is how we leverage that by drafting Byron Pringle instead.
That's true. We are making a counter play against that thesis. So I support it.
Yeah.
Oh, we can get Slayton late. Paul says in the chat. Gee, what a treat. You do like Darius Slayton though, historically. So I guess
that was one of the first year we were doing this show. Every week, my ride or die pick was like Darius Slayton, 100 yards and 2 TDs.
Did not work. I don't think it worked out once.
I was martingaling the shit out of Darius Slayton.
I do think, and I know Kadarius Toney went he went really early. I think Kadarius Toney though is the guy where like he could be, first round, second round ADP value by the time the season ends.
For sure. Yeah, that's why he's a fun pick. He also could be out of the league.
He also could beat somebody up outside of a locker room.
Yeah,
that's the end of Kadarius Toney. But that's the volatility you're looking for at a draft in February.
That's right. I will say he would not be an asset. I would be excited to overpay for in a dynasty league where it's like at least you could thread the 1 year where like Kadarius Toney keeps his head on straight and get the big production. But I don't know if I would want to bet on that happening year after year after year.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty reasonable take, though. I liked him when he played in the 3 games he played this year.
Yeah. He was fun. I mean, it was just everyone except the Giants disliked him coming into the league as a prospect. He was just one of the worst prospect profiles for a first round pick in a long, long time. And so everyone kind of had blinders on him. I know Josh Norris, he put him on my radar a little bit more in the summer, started sprinkling him in with later picks, but it was insane for a rookie. Again, putting in perspective where some of these rookies are going in this draft. I mean, Kadarius Toney was a first round rookie that was going like round 17 or 18 throughout most of the summer last year. So I think there's going to be better opportunities on some of these rookie prices than there are, right now.
Yeah, I still have to do my data poll because I was also not as off on Tony as some people out there, but didn't know enough to back it. And I feel like there's probably a few guys like that that fit that criteria.
What about this Tyler guy? I hear people talk about him a decent amount.
He's not ranked on our board, which makes me not feel good given that we have 12 running backs ranked.
You want to take Ronald Jones?
He's one of these years. Yeah, let's do Ronald Jones. Why not?
Let's do it.
Let's tell Pat though. So we get brownie points for it.
Yes, please. Here, I'll do a staple. I'll go to the ship chasing here, and just so people remember, the good times with Rojo.
Ronald Jones will get big hole. Jones gets by. Ronald Jones may go all the way. Being chased from behind. Does Jones have enough? Still on his feet. Ronald Jones.
That's going to be every other week for us on this team.
I also like how you just have one highlight reel music clip and you're like, this is the one. This is every highlight I got to play.
I mean, I've never gotten any criticisms about that music not being able to amp people up. So I don't know why not.
That's true. It does fire you up. Honestly, though, maybe you need to integrate a TikTok viral sound into your highlight reels.
Oh my! What would be a TikTok? I have been. I want to use a couple. Do you watch Euphoria?
I know I don't watch it, but I know enough about it because everything on the internet now goes off of Euphoria.
Yeah, there's some good Euphoria sound bites going around on TikTok. There's also a couple good Ozarks one. I've actually been bookmarking them, just waiting for the perfect moment to unleash a non-relevant TikTok meme. Okay, we're back on the clock. What do you want, Spags?
I mean, I do like the large turtle Brian Robinson generally.
Okay. Let's do Brian Robinson. Why is he going? Yeah. He's been going pretty late after ADP. We almost got him 20 picks. I'll take that.
Probably because everybody thinks people were really insulting to him when we took him on Friday, but he's a big-bodied guy.
Along with our William Fuller mystery, have we figured out why Elijah Mitchell does not have a photo yet on the site? I know the rookies don't, but second year, think we got to put some respect on Elijah Mitchell's name here with a photo.
It could be one of those like crosswalk things where he's actually like Eli Mitchell and whatever they're pulling their photos from, and they just haven't prioritized them enough to get that photo in. Could be a possibility.
Yeah. Underdog, it's time to get this man a photo. Probably the last time I'm ever going to draft him. I didn't even get to look at his face.
Also in the FO40, just so people have it, as a reference point here, Kenneth Walker, number 1 of the running backs, Isaiah Spiller, number 2, Breece Hall, number 3, Kyron Williams, number 4, and James Cook, number 5 are your top 5 running backs. And then Tyler Beatty, who we've talked about on this show, popping up real high, according to our Football Outsiders guys, Mike Tanier in particular, and was, as we talked about on this show, very impressive during the Senior Bowl. Looked really explosive and like he could be a 3-down back. So if you want to take a really weird flyer in the last round, it's probably Tyler Beatty.
All right, there you go. Spags, do you play in any dynasty leagues?
That is one blind spot. I actually don't have any season-long leagues at all now because my high school one ended, and yeah, I'm doing the best ball is now my primary season-long exposure.
I mean, I don't think it's. I think you should do. I feel like you would enjoy a dynasty superflex best ball draft. So you get to do the rookie draft each year, kind of leverage some of your expertise on the prospects. But then also don't have to set your lineup in season. It's kind of a good compromise.
I would like that. I made me sad that like the guys in my high school league didn't want to do a best ball because I was like, this is so much easier and you don't have to do waivers and whatever. And then we got kind of caught in one of those like, no, I don't know. And then one person dropped out and everybody just gave up. I feel like that's the kind of solve we were probably looking for.
Well, we're putting together some in the ship chasing Discord. I will see. I'll check with Sam, and if we need anyone else, I'll toss your name in the ring.
Okay, I'll do that. And then they'll shoot it down, and then that'll be the end of that one.
FF Doom, we can definitely do some. We could do a proper I don't know if I want to do a managed league, but we could set up maybe a little splash play best ball invitational with actual invite leagues as opposed to public ones in the tournament. Spags and I could probably work on that. I think that would be fun.
And of course, our USFL league, which will be drafting, first pick goes to that guy at the USFL TikTok.
God. USFL, it's coming, baby.
We would fucking work him in a draft. I'll tell you what. I'm calling that kid out. You want to fucking come into my world? I'm taking your money, kid.
Start a beef with the poor kid. You're not worried about getting taken down. Well, you should have been worried about getting taken down by Splash Play, bud.
Who are we taking now?
All right, we are on the clock. I assume we're going to take like a rookie QB later. I think we need wide receivers.
Ugh. This is not the most reassuring group. Brian Edwards.
Okay, where is he?
Down a little bit.
Shit. Go. Did I get it in time? Nimble fingers. Yes. Woo!
No LaVisca Chenault for this guy today.
Wow. My nimble fingers in mid-season form there. That was close.
So we got the full Raiders stack minus the QB. So
you love it. You love it.
Oh, man. I hope the Raiders are good this year. I would like that.
It still blows my mind every time I look at those futures odds and see the Broncos ahead of the Chargers. I keep waiting for that to change.
I agree. I don't get it. I think it's just people juicing over the Rodgers thing, and I think they're making people pay a steeper price for a team that's not going to be there. But at a certain point, you would think the market would move, and it has not moved yet.
So last time we took Sam, what if we grab Matt Corral this time?
I would say Corral or Ritter would be my pick. I like what I've heard about Ritter. Ritter's a real big arm guy, could be a little more mobile, but Corral does seem like he's referenced a lot as being one of the top guys.
Yeah, I think Corral probably has a better chance at, like top 15 draft capital.
Okay.
Let's give it we're calling our shot now.
Taking Sam
not
Darnold.
down. Oh my God. Could you imagine?
Calling our shot. We're taking Sam Darnold.
I just saw him on vacation with Josh Allen and Christian Kirk and thought I had to add him to the squad.
Honestly, maybe he's learning a few things there about both having a more attractive social media friendly girlfriend. And then also, I don't know anything about Sam Darnold's girlfriend. I shouldn't say that, but he could learn about being a QB as well as that part too. Lots of things for Sam Darnold to learn this offseason.
I didn't even notice we got sniped on Slayton. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Willis.
Here's the question. Do you think it's better to take one of these rookies or to take Jimmy Garoppolo at this point, given where everybody fell?
No, give me the rookie every time.
Really?
Unless I guess if you had Kittle or Ayuk or Debo, if you're getting at least some stack equity, but an unstacked Debo Samuel as your QB3, I mean, what are we even doing here? Just take off the 6 condoms and live a little.
All right, I'll allow it. I do think if we're just looking for floor at this point of the draft,
which we're not,
I think it's probably wiser to take Jimmy Garoppolo.
Get out of here. Go draft Jimmy Garoppolo on your own time.
Oh, actually, Pete, one thing that I needed to bring up to you, I do think we should do a show in VR, or at least have that as an option during the off-season episode draft.
I'm down. Like I told you, I still have not played around with my Oculus at all.
I know. Well, I was watching a video. There's some Twitch streamer. People might know who it is. It's like some female Twitch streamer who I guess was doing like a thing where she went to the VR chat app, and it was like, it went semi-viral because it was just like very weird and strange, but also pretty amusing. I just think it's worth us doing it just for at least one episode.
Yeah. What other stuff have you been doing other than looking at porn?
It's mostly porn, mostly definitely weird. It's definitely mostly best used for that purpose, but you open up the browser window, you can play some fun games for free as well. I have the fight game I pay for, the football game I paid for. Those are fun. The boxing one is actually a pretty good workout if you do that.
The boxing one sounds fun. I'd like to do that.
It's, I think, called History of Fight or something like that, but it's actually like really cool, and you feel kind of like you're in a match, like, because you have to throw real punches. It's not like the Wii where you just kind of do this gesture. You got to throw like a real punch.
All right, I'll box you in the metaverse.
Oh, okay. Boxing is the one thing I know how to do decently well because I'm doing that since I was a 10th grader.
All right, I'll throw down. Okay, structurally here, we're done at QB. I think you could make cases for running back, wide receiver, or tight end. Positionally, what would be your preference?
I think we should take Gerald Everett or Weidmeyer at tight end.
Go tight end 3 with this build. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Actually, well, no, we have Irv and Waller. I think we need a running back more. Actually, let's go back to running back. Sorry. Mike Davis.
No, over my dead body. I actually don't mind Zach Moss.
Yeah, I could take that I could see that being worthwhile.
Because I think there's a chance that they don't invest any serious capital into a running back and just kind of run it back with the Singletary Zach Moss combo. And then if you're just thinking of pure handcuffs or like a 1B and one of the best offenses in football, like to me, that still should be worth more than a 20th round pick. So I think he's a pretty good pick here in the 20th.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things too that we saw last year. We talked about Dalvin Cook and Madison. Now some teams with Madison advanced just because they had those weeks where Cook wasn't available. Madison popped up. Do the same thing for the Singletary draft capital that's going up a little bit higher. Moss also always had touchdown equity and can certainly be useful at least for a few weeks. And also, as Jim points out, it is in fact Thrill of the Fight on the Oculus that I was talking about. So go check that out if you want to play a fun VR boxing game. I recommend it. Who would have thought we would ever have a draft that says no Derek Carr with a sad face?
Oh, it was too many characters.
No DC.
Hang on. I think I fit it in there. There we go.
Or is it because of the smiley no character allowed?
Oh no, they're allowing the smileys.
Thank God. Thank God. All right, Pete, what are the final plugs here? Of course, other than we will be back on Wednesday doing our last splash play before we go on a little 10-day spring break. Pete will be traveling the world of Hawaii. I will be traveling the world of parenthood, but we will be here. So come hang out with us Wednesday, 2:30 for our last splash play draft for a little bit. But Pete, what are your plugs?
Yeah, I'm going to my boxing gym at 5:30 to train for our match in the metaverse. We'll have Club Top Shot tomorrow night as usual. We got our splash play Wednesday afternoon. We're going to do a special. We're going to start moving lulls to late afternoon on Wednesday. So we're going to do that. That'll be at 4. And then Ship Chasing Wednesday night will be my last show. And then I will be taking a content break for about a week and a half. So that's soak up all the splash play you can before then.
Yes, and please keep your fingers crossed that our little baby Luca stays where he's supposed to for a few more days. Preferably to Saturday would be my ideal, but hang out with us here. We appreciate you following us, and please make sure to go follow at Peter Overzet, follow at Chris Spags, and follow at Splash Play Pod. Make sure to go check out that Football Outsiders 40. You can go subscribe at footballoutsiders.com/subscribe, or just get a read on the draft prospects that we're talking about a lot on this show on footballoutsiders.com/FO40. Go there to that URL. You'll see the big board and use it as a data reference. Even if you're using other ones, just use it as a frame of reference. And I promise you'll get some better results. Any final words for you, Pete, before we call it quits?
No, just stop sniping us when we draft. Be nice.
Yeah, be nice. Be kind to people in your best ball drafts on Underdog, and use the promo code SPLASH, double your deposit over at Underdog. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday at 2:30. So come hang out then. Enjoy your weeks, guys.